Swipe up. Swipe up. Swipe up. I don't know.
That's gonna be the intro to this video. I've been waiting on that. Thank you.
Uh,
And we're live for episode 5.
we're live. That was quick. You didn't even give me a warning that
That's
time.
what she said.
Very nice. What are you drinking?
It's none of your business. It's none of your concern.
I think it is my business, actually.
Orange soda and Jamaican rum. Again. This is the last of it.
It's the last of your orange soda or the
Correct.
last of your Jamaican rum?
The last of the orange soda.
That's funny. I need to try that.
We're gonna need you to get your
Captain.
mic a little bit closer to you.
Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
Ew. You had me at Captain Morgan. You
Okay,
killed it
okay.
at Diet Coke.
It's your Captain Morgan that you left here.
That's not cool.
I still have it.
Save me a little bit.
It's full. This is the first time I've drank out of it.
Has it been in the freezer?
No. It's been on top of my fridge collecting dust.
Oh. I don't think alcohol goes bad, does it?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why they have like 15-year aged.
yeah. This is a great episode.
Yeah, off to a good start. All right. So, what is the first subject of the day?
First subject of the day, we're going to talk about basic necessities for getting your eBay, your Amazon business started. Amazon is a little bit less supply oriented, I guess. Would you agree with that or no?
What do you mean by supply oriented?
Well, since you don't have to take pictures, you eliminate all of your picture taking equipment.
Well, most people have phones, so I mean, it's not really. I think Amazon is.
Hey, jackass.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about lights and a background and all that kind of stuff. Because that stuff's not cheap.
Fair. Well, neither is all the polybagging and stuff, all the prep work you have to do for eBay either, or for Amazon.
So I guess they both have their own fair share of supplies you need. So basically, we'll talk about Amazon and then we'll talk about eBay. Amazon, it kind of depends on what kind of product you're going to be selling. So if you're going to be selling books, you're going to need a scanner. You don't need a scanner, but it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference.
You're going to need some software. If you run iOS or if you run Android, they both pretty much, most of the software companies that put this stuff out, like FBA Scan and Scout IQ and all these guys, they pretty much have an app for both platforms. So it doesn't really matter what type of phone, just that you have a phone.
Yeah.
And a scanner, a Bluetooth infrared scanner. If you're going to be doing books, what else? Maybe a cart to bring with you to, Goodwills and book sales and stuff like that.
Speaking of book sales, we went to our first book sale. Whoa, it's been a few months, but we were kind of try the whole, fill a bag for $5. Man, we were outperformed by everyone in there. They were pros, so I mean, it was a learning experience for us. But man, the scanners, they all had scanners. They all had their own bags that they brought, to carry things, to hold things. So there's, be prepared because your competition surely is.
I really don't appreciate you interrupting me. I never do that to you.
I waited.
So I would appreciate that you don't interrupt me.
I waited until you finish your sentence.
I wouldn't do it to you.
Sure you do.
All the time. Okay, so if say you're not doing book selling, say if you're or even if you are just doing book selling, you're still going to need. I heard that. I really hate you.
So we had like
Okay,
a
okay, okay, okay.
no, no,
So,
no. We
go.
no. Well, let's explain this because
Okay.
we had like a 20-minute fight on my notifications, and for some reason my text and WhatsApp notifications don't show up, but my email for some reason does. So if you do hear a little doo doo,
Just go ahead and quit listening to the podcast and quit listening to us all together
exactly. Exactly.
because
All
it's
right.
unacceptable and unprofessional.
That's
Okay, so back to it. If you're going to be selling even books, you're going to need shipping supplies if you're going to be doing FBA. So you're going to need boxes. Boxes you can give for free. I, I prefer to buy boxes because for me it's a time deal. I don't feel like going to a store and digging through dumpsters and stuff. It's not that I'm above it or anything, and I've done it before. It's just the fact that when I buy a box, I buy it in a quantity and I know what size that box is. So it cuts down on me having to figure out, okay, what fits in this size box? What fits in this size box? What fits in this size box? I know what fits in a small Lowe's box. I know what fits in a medium Lowe's box. I know what fits in a large Lowe's box. So for me, it cuts out all that time trying to figure out, how to bust your shipment into different boxes and all that stuff. I know what fits in those boxes, and for me, it eliminates that time suck. You're going to need packing supplies, air bubbles, tape, or excuse me, paper, like we got back there, packing paper. I would say peanuts, packing peanuts, but you can't use packing peanuts with Amazon. I've heard they will literally turn your box away if they open it and there's packing peanuts in there, which I don't. I do not blame them one bit.
I don't blame it at all. You know when you hear a lot of FBA sellers will use Lowe's boxes um, as opposed to Home Depot boxes, and I think there's one reason is their large boxes are 24 inches and they're not square. Like the the Home Depot boxes, I believe, are squared. All sides are the same size. Whereas I believe Lowe's is the 24 by 18 by 18. I think Home Depot's 18 by 18 by 18. I
I didn't
think.
know that.
Yeah, and that's why I use Lowe's is because I get that 24-inch. But the other thing that people don't realize is that when you reuse boxes that you get shipped from other companies, those boxes have already been through a full shipment, and they may have been used previously, so they're not going to be as strong as the boxes that you get at Lowe's. And that's when I started realizing, like, okay, yeah, I get it now. Like, I'm going to pay the $1.50 for some Lowe's boxes as opposed to, these super thin boxes that you can find. It's just really not that. It's really not that much of a hassle. But some people it'll take. You're going to have to kind of realize that on your own because you're like, why would I pay for it? Like you'll figure it out. But yeah, if you're choosing between Lowe's and Home Depot, I suggest Lowe's.
That's a good point. On the size and on the fact that when you get a box that's used, it has been through a shipping process already, so it's had its wear and tear on those seams and stuff, and you know if you sell some expensive stuff, you don't want that seam ripping open during transit, and then Amazon going, well, I didn't get any of that. No, we didn't get any of your product.
Yeah, and I think Target for me, Target has been one of the worst as far
Mm.
as shipping their products in just the cheapest boxes and just poorly packaged, and so those boxes get thrown away immediately.
Not only do they ship poorly, they ship incorrectly. So much, so much. Um,
Yeah, let me here just a
Go ahead.
proof of that. And good luck ordering this because it's under hazmat review. But I ordered a bunch of this, and I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that well?
A little bit.
It says, oh, yeah, there you go. It's peppermint
Yeah.
extract. I got mostly peppermint extract, but then I got pure mint extract mixed in. Completely different product number, completely different UPC. But yeah, this is what my package was mixed they mix these two. So, again, if you listen to the last episode, we talked about like checking in your product and making sure your accuracy. This would be kind of easy to like look over
That would be very easy
because
because
it's
they
not
almost look identical.
right. I mean, they've got green leaves on there, and my wife's the one that actually noticed it. And if she hadn't, I probably would have sent this in. And so
And
I've got,
you'd have got a hit to your
yep,
metrics.
yep, I've got probably eight or 10 of the mints. And you imagine you're a customer, you want peppermint extract, and you end up with mint extract. So, anyways,
I'll top you.
sidebar.
I'll top you. I bought 40, 49 or 50 boxes. I think I bought 50 boxes of Kleenex from Target. And they sent me 46 plus one off brand. So these were, I think they were Kleenex brand that I bought. So they sent me 46 boxes plus one box of off brand. They didn't even send me the whole order. But wait. Before they sent me that, this is the same order. When I got it, it was a small little mailing envelope. It had a 17-pound label on it. Inside this mailer were child's leggings. In place of 50 boxes of Kleenex. Child leggings. Obviously, they, switched the labels. My label went, or the legging label went with the Kleenex probably, and mine got the leggings. But yeah, it really wasn't that bad a deal to get it all fixed. But then when I got the correct product in, it was short, and they had thrown in an off-brand. So when I tried to do it again and say, you got to file the claim on their website, and I got a customer service agent, and he said, I said, what did he say? He said, well, all right, we're going to send you a call tag, and we're going to refund you for all the. I said, I don't want a call tag. I said, I want the product that I ordered. I said, that's all I want. He said, oh, well, when there's 2 errors on an order, then we have to refund it. We can't. I said, this is out of my control. Like, I didn't pack your boxes wrong. I didn't switch the labels to begin with.
That's a weird policy to have. Like, if we screw up 2 times, then you don't get your product.
I mean, I think I understand, because I think it's probably, that policy is probably in place so people don't game the system and game the customer service agents, time after time. I understand that. But the fact that you could clearly see in the evidence that the first time it was just completely the wrong product, and the second time they didn't send me enough. So what they did was they refunded me the 4 boxes, and I had to reorder. So these were bought under a coupon code. Well, that coupon code was only good for $25 or more. These boxes of Kleenex were well under $25. So as I had the customer service agent on the chat, I said, this is not going to work. I said, I can't waive the shipping, because that's what it was. I think you get a coupon code and they waive the shipping at like $25. So I was like, I can't do that. And he's like, well, put it in and then send me the order number and we'll change it. And then that's when I found out that it wouldn't even go through. So they had to refund me 4, and I had to reorder 4 and go pick them up at the store. I was like, man. Okay. Another Target. I ordered a bunch of another product I'm not going to say because I think it's still a hot product. And when it came in, there was a hole in the box. Guess what? One was missing. So I had to do another, missing item. I think eventually they're probably just going to shut me off because of their own errors.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm surprised at how bad the shipping has been. I mean, I haven't been doing OA very long, but I've been doing it. I mean, the percentage of shipments that are screwed up versus the ones that aren't is alarming. Now, the wholesale companies that I
when you say that, are you just talking about Target, or are you talking about all OA?
All of them. Yeah. Walgreens is bad too. But yeah, like but my wholesale accounts, dude, they're always right. I've never had one issue with them.
I did.
Yeah. What happened?
I had some expiration dates that were out, and I had some products shorted. It happens. It happens. You work in a warehouse and you pack hundreds of boxes a day. It's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
With me, Target was just consistently messing up.
Well, here's one of the things that a lot of companies are shipping from the stores as opposed to shipping from a warehouse. So,
Is that right?
yeah, and if you ever kind of wonder, if you order from Target or Walgreens and you get like three, and then you get like five, and then you get like two, and you get it split up
Yeah.
like that, that generally means it's being shipped from three different stores. So if you look at the addresses on the labels, that's what's happening. And when you put, I mean, when you put these store level associates in charge of the shipping, there's no telling who's packing it. I ordered some cream, and some boxes would come in. It was polybagged and tied. Some were just thrown in there without it. So you never know who's really going to be shipping your stuff. But 9 times out of 10, it's coming from the stores.
Really? How did you how did you find that out that it was coming from different stores? Just looking at the shipping labels and stuff.
Yeah, you can see the shipping labels, and you can see what the addresses come back to a store location. And it wouldn't really make sense for a warehouse to send four different boxes, just to fulfill one order. And but most companies are going to that now because it reduces some of their liability as far as their inventory.
They're dead
They-
stock.
right, so they're not storing this stuff in the warehouse. It's being stored in a store for sale, and you can ship from there too. So it's kind of
So do you think they're pulling it off the shelf?
yeah, that's exactly what they do.
Oh, wow. Okay, so back to some more supplies. Packing supplies, we talked about that. Packing supplies, besides the paper, I almost never buy. I bought paper and I've bought some bubble wrap, both of which were very cheap. I think you sent me that, and it was it was $18 for two of those big old rolls, and they're heavy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They last a while. And then there was another huge. I mean, I swear to you, the roll of bubble wrap was about that big from Amazon. It came in a trash bag with the label on it, a clear trash bag with the label, and I think it was 18 or 20 bucks. I don't know if they still have that on Amazon, but and I may have both of those in my link tree on the Road to Resale page, but I'm not sure. Um, it's kind of crappy, the bubble wrap, and that's another thing you'll find once you get well into this business, is that shipping supplies, sometimes quality does make a difference, especially when it comes to bubble wrap and stuff like that. If you have a high dollar electronic and you have crappy bubble wrap that the bubbles burst when you just put a little weight on them, you don't want something like that to actually be shipping across the country, whatever. So sometimes I go with companies like Uline for some shipping supplies. They're more of a bulk, a place to buy bulk supplies because you get a lot bigger discount with them. But their stuff is quality. It's stuff that people across all industries across America and probably the world use. Really good name, been around for quite a while. I get my tape, my packing tape from there. I buy it in, I don't know, cases of 36, and I think I want to say it's $72 for a case of 36 or something like
And
that.
they ship fast too. Like
Oh, they ship, yeah.
extremely fast. Like we live near the Dallas location, and a lot of times it's next day service from Uline. So they've got different warehouses around the country, but you get it fast.
Yeah, they're really good, and if you don't see the value in spending money on some of your packing supplies and your boxes and stuff, like Jeff said, you will eventually, because somehow, somewhere, some way, you will get screwed with some kind of subpar material. The next thing and I actually did a post on it on my Instagram page, a box resizer. Probably, I'm going to let Jeff talk about this one. I think he could probably tell you the value of it, more than I could almost, after he finally got one.
Well, the first one I got was actually damaged in
That's the same
transit.
one.
Yeah, it's the same one. It was damaged in transit. So you convinced me to order one. This was like 3 months ago, and I get a notification from Amazon that says your package was destroyed, and I don't know, who knows how, because I mean this thing is stout. Like this is metal. This is not plastic. And so this is something that's going to be, you're going to use this for forever. So I'm not quite sure how this thing got
Now,
destroyed.
there are different models, and there are some crappier ones.
Well, no, this is the one.
That's
This
the
is
one you ordered the first time?
yeah.
Okay.
And so, but I will say that probably my favorite thing about this tool, you know, it's not necessarily fitting the. I mean, it's part of it, but reducing the box size. But what that does, it dramatically reduces the amount of packing material you have to use. And so even if you have, if you have a 18 by 18, by 24 box, and you fill it up and you've got 4 inches of space at the top, you may not think that's much, but man, to fill it with paper and bubble wrap and all that other stuff, that's a lot.
To fill it with paper, that is a
Yeah,
lot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you just take this thing and you just move this up and down to whatever however low you have to go, and you can get it to where the flap set straight on top of the product. And the product's more secure that way because it's not moving around. This is probably, aside from my tape machine, this is my favorite tool.
That's something we need to talk about too, is packing boxes. At my previous 9 to 5 job, it wasn't 9 to 5, it was longer than that, but at my previous job, I did a lot of packing and shipping. And one of the key things, and a lot of the stuff we shipped was heavy. I'm talking heavy, heavy. That if you didn't have it packed tightly and packed right, it would fly through the side of the box. I mean, and this stuff is, machine parts and stuff. So, what I learned there that's so important is just making sure that whatever you pack doesn't move around, because it's not necessarily how hard somebody treats it in transit. It's how much that product moves inside the box. You get a sharp object or even just a heavy blunt object and it gets thrown, physically thrown, that product is going to go from one side of the box to the other, and it's going to keep doing that the whole trip, and then eventually most likely a hole's going to be made by that, and it's just going to, either that or it's going to bust the seams out. So if you have everything packed tightly, it doesn't have the room to get momentum inside the box.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You've all seen the horror stories of how people, treat boxes. Most of them are awesome. I really don't think I've met a UPS or FedEx person that I didn't like, or I thought was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
They've been actually really, really good, and professional. But you just never know when that thing gets shipped to Missouri or wherever. You never know who's on the other end of that package. And like I said, we've all seen the YouTube videos of.
Well, the thing is too that I don't think a lot of people know is a lot of the time when you see a package that's just looks like an accordion, that's not usually a driver's fault or even a worker's fault. What that usually is that box is getting caught in some kind of machinery inside of a distribution center, whether it be a UPS distribution center or Amazon or wherever. It's usually what happens is that box gets caught in something, and it tries to push it through. So I think a lot of these drivers and stuff get a bad name. There are drivers out there. I had a run-in with one at my last job that cost us quite a bit of money because of he literally kicked a box out of the back of the UPS truck when it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was not awesome, but Okay, so box resizers, tape guns, packing supplies, a phone, a laser printer. A laser printer is really it's really not an option. It's really not an option. They run about $200. You can get them at Sam's, you can get them at Costco, you can get them at Walmart. I use a Brother. I think mine is a. Let me see if I can read this while still talking to you. An L2740DW. I believe I have mine is refurbished. Jeff probably laughs at me because I buy refurbished stuff all the time, and I mean I don't usually have problems with them, but if it's
One
factory
one day, you're gonna have to tell them about your refurbished Dyson that you bought
oh, that thing's awesome.
and how like oh my whatever. Keep going, but
Okay, okay. So I actually have I know I have this refurbished model in my link tree. So basically everything we're talking about is you can actually find what I and Jeff we use most of the same stuff. What we both use, on a daily basis. So a laser printer. The advantage to a laser printer is you don't have to buy ink. You buy toner cartridges, and toner cartridges last for thousands of pages, as opposed to ink cartridges. I don't even know how much an ink cartridge
two to
lasts.
2 to 500 pages, maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah, and maybe 500, and that's like your Excel. So mainly you're getting 200 to 300 pages. Think about that's barely a ream of paper, and so laser saves so much money.
and now it is only black and white, but there's
You
I
can get
mean,
color. I mean, you get color laser printers if you
can you?
want to, but it's not in this business. It's
It's
really
not
not.
even necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get one eventually, just because I like printing things in color. But like when I say eventually, it's like 2 or 3 years when you know down the line because it's something that's just not necessary.
Yeah. A toner cartridge, like I said, it lasts thousands of pages. Maybe what, 1 to 2,000 pages? Sometimes
Yeah,
more than that, maybe.
sometimes more. So sometimes more. Some of the higher dollar ones. I mean, 4 to 5 thousand. I mean,
Well, I know
a
this
lot.
one, it lasts, I don't know, 1 to 2,000 pages, and the toner cartridge is $47, I think, from Sam's. So I mean, you
Yeah.
get one color cartridge for an inkjet printer, and you're talking probably what, $30?
So yeah, exactly. And so one of the most popular brother toners is the TN210, and it might be what you use for your printer. It's TN 210, 220, somewhere around there. But a TN 210 will yield 2,200 pages. And just looking at line, you can get 17, $20. It just kind of depends.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, it saves you a ton of money, and you're never going to print a shipping label in pink. You know what I mean? So black and white is definitely all you
Yeah.
need.
I mean, you really spending the money up front on the printer, you will save so much money in the long run. It's not even comparable, you know. Even if you got a printer for free, an inkjet printer for free, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot using it for labels. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get an inkjet printer for free, sell it and use that money to buy a laser printer. There's really no point in it. It's
Yeah.
it's a waste. But and here's the other thing is that those one of the worst things about the inkjet is that they smudge. So you print these labels and you smudge that barcode just a little bit, and it's not going to be read by any type of scanners.
Good point. Good point. Um, and one of the last things, and there's a couple optional things that make life easier: a wet tape machine, a thermal printer for your FNSKU labels and your shipping labels, uh, a an impulse sealer. Oh, what I didn't talk about was a scale. It's that back there. That little thing right there. That is a shipping scale. It cost me like $20. I've been using it for well over a year now. I've put some pretty heavy boxes on it. Seems to be fine. Uh, and the last thing I want to talk about that you really need, and people will try to talk you out of it or say that you don't need it. You need a laptop or a PC or a Mac. You need a computer of some sort to do this business. If somebody tells you that they do all of their business from their phone, they're lying. They're lying. You
Or they're
can't.
not good.
Or they're not good. You can't do it. You have to pull up reports. You have to pull up messages from customers. Like there's things that you can do on the app, but it's very limited. You can't go in and see what you know claims have been put against you, or there's just all kinds of things that you can't do without a computer. So you have to at bare minimum get a cheap internet enabled computer. Is there anything else that I missed that you think that people might or might not need? I mean, box cutter, stuff like that, poly
Um,
bags.
yeah, poly bags, and just from experience, don't try not to cheap out on the poly bags. You're gonna want to, but you get the cheap ones, and they're just garbage. They're absolute garbage. And so Uline. You talk about Uline. That they're not gonna sell. They're not gonna send you garbage. It's gonna cost a little bit extra, but it's gonna be worth it when you're actually processing your shipments. You're not having the seams rip. You're not having they're not all stuck together. So just I think the main message is don't 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 skimp on the supplies.
Yeah. Get a product with enough profit in it to be able to pay for those things. Don't be putting yourself in the red just on shipping supplies and stuff. Get a product, get you enough products out there that have enough product profit in them, to do that. One thing I wanted to mention about Uline is Uline does not sell in onesie twosie type quantities. They won't sell you individual products. So most of the time you have to buy, a case of something or a quantity that most people starting out probably wouldn't want to buy. There are sellers that sell Uline products on Amazon, so you can get smaller quantities. I think they just buy them and then resell them. But I mean, just know that too, that if you go on Uline, you're going to get some sticker shock. But if you divide the number that you're getting by the price that you're paying, it's usually way less than the cheap brands on Amazon.
Yep, yep. And so some other thing. One of the if you're doing a lot of retail arbitrage, one of the best tools that I've found is this stuff, Gugon. This stuff has been a lifesaver for me. So getting labels, using your Scotty peelers.
Oh,
Um,
Scotty Peeler's good eye.
yeah, yeah. Scotty peelers is probably my favorite, one of my favorite tools. And you can see it's razor sharp on here,
It
and
will
so
cut the shit out of you.
absolutely it will, and it has. But you can get these from ScottyPeeler.com, or you can get them on Amazon. They're super cheap, but they're worth it, because these help you get off those labels, those clearance labels, those goodwill labels, um, and then any residue you have left over, Goo
Yep.
Gone, microfiber cloth, and you're good to go. Um,
Sometimes
those
a
are
little isopropyl alcohol. Uh, I use it usually to get residue off.
what the alcohol.
Yeah.
I wonder what's in. I don't know what's in Goo Gone, but I'm also addicted to the smell. So I'm gonna stick with Goo Gone because I like how it smells. Um,
I've actually heard that lighter fluid works and doesn't leave a smell. I haven't used it, but I have heard, I've heard so many people say it that I believe that they
and
weren't
it
all lying.
doesn't leave a smell.
No.
I don't know about that.
I know. I know. I'm gonna have to try it. And they say it works way better than Goo Gone. And I use Goo Gone.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
still like the smell. A couple other things. If you're selling sets, they make stickers. Do not separate. You want to make sure you've got all these on all your poly bags that have multiple items in there. You don't want people um, opening up your poly bags and then kind of screwing you over. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. Um, and then I think other than some of the basics, having a notepad. I always have a notepad next to me, just so when I'm trying to trying to go through kind of what I need to do because I don't have a ton of time at night. I just make a quick list of, okay, this is the order I have to do things. So having a old fashioned pen and paper to keep that visual on my desk at all times, that's helped a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Having having some of your stuff written down, I don't know if it's the act of actually physically writing it down or the fact that you have it visually in front of you, but that's a good point. If you have a couple tasks that you need to complete, write them down. I know it sounds stupid, but if you write them down, and it's satisfying too, marking through one, marking through another, and then you look down and you're done. It's satisfying, but that's a good point. That's a good point. Some notepads. I got a bunch of these yellow notepads that, these are lifesavers. I literally I have one, two, I have three on my desk right now. Three notepads. And they just have all kind of different crap on them. Oh,
So yeah, I think part of it is the satisfaction of marking through it and kind of making sure you're getting things done. Because sometimes, I mean, you have multiple monitors. I have multiple monitors. You're going from monitor to monitor doing this and that, and sometimes you do a whole lot without getting anything done.
Yeah, a whole lot without getting anything done. Because you can literally you can make yourself busy. Like you're still doing work. I'll go through and I'm repricing Amazon. For an hour or two. I'm going through and redoing listings on eBay, just all kinds of stuff. And you're not really getting the things done that you need. You're getting stuff done, stuff that needs to be done, but it's not necessarily the stuff that's on the pad if you had one. Let's see what else. That brings me to another point of repricing. It's something I don't hear a lot of people talk about. To newbies and to just period. I hear talk of automatic repricers, but I don't hear a lot of talk of manual repricing. I don't use a repricer. I don't think you use a repricer, right?
No. I don't have enough SKUs yet, I don't think.
Well, the thing about a repricer is if you don't know how to use one, don't get one. You will end up bankrupt if you set it up wrong, because people out there there's little tricks and little ways that you can kind of give a jab to a fellow seller if you know how to work the system. I'm not advocating that at all. I'm just saying if somebody sees a vulnerability, they're probably going to exploit it. And at the end of the day, Amazon's not going to say, hey, you sold all these for this low a price. We understand that's not what you meant to do. No, you sold it. It's gone. It's not your product anymore, and you lost money. All because you didn't take the time to learn how a repricer works. I haven't taken the time to learn how it works, so I'm not going to get one. I don't want that happening to me. But what I do is I reprice my stuff manually. So I'll go on, and Amazon kind of makes this easy for you. If you go onto Seller Central, literally the top pane, I think if you have it set default, if you haven't moved all the panes around, the top pane I think is pricing. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think mine is. And it just gives you it says, hey, the lowest price is this. This is your price. Would you like to match it? Would you like to update it? What I do, I'll go on, and right under the lowest price, it'll have a number, and that number is the number of sellers, and right below that is your price. So that number is actually, you can actually click on it, and when you click on it, it takes you to the does it take you to the Prime page? It takes you to the sellers, where all the sellers are listed. It's not just Prime, so it's all the sellers. So then you can see, sometimes it'll tell you that you need to match a price that's not even being offered. So it'll be like way lower than the lowest price actually is. So always click on that number, go to your page, see what all the sellers are actually selling it for, and then you can price accordingly. If you need to get rid of a product, bring your price down. If you need to, if you see this product being hot later on and a lot of people selling through it at a smaller margin than you'd like to take, Well, then price your price. Put your price up. It's very critical in this business, especially when you get into some good hot selling products, that you price your items accordingly, because you can have a hot product, and if your price is wrong, sometimes even by a penny, you won't sell it. You won't
Yeah,
see sales for days, especially if there's a bunch of other people that have a whole lot more quantity and a whole lot better metrics than you, because your listing won't get seen.
yeah, that's true. And sometimes some they'll compare your price to a seller that's merchant fulfilled too, and so you don't necessarily, if you got these items in at fulfillment centers, be careful you're not matching merchant fulfilled items, because you can price your items higher and still get the buy box. So just be careful. Make sure you go over all the offers before you start playing with your price. And now merchant fulfilled uh, sellers can get the buy box, but they have to be significantly cheaper than the rest of the FBA sellers. So just be careful not to just match the lowest price just to be the lowest.
Yeah, you don't have to match an MF price to get sales. Most of the time, people are going to want a prime product more than they're going to want a MF product. Um, Sometimes it's for, I think, the amount of time it takes for it to get to them. I think some people probably associate Prime with Amazon itself. I think there's a couple different reasons, but regardless of the reason, you can price your product higher than a merchant fulfilled product every day of the week. There's no question about it. Don't if a merchant fulfilled product is the lowest price on a listing, you can go $1 or $2 above it. You can sometimes go $5 or $6 above it or more,
I suppose.
depending on what the product is. People understand that, they're not paying shipping and they're getting it in 2 days. They value that.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think it was last episode we tried to show people BrickSeek. That was a complete and utter failure.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Like, not really bad. Like, I don't know that I could even edit around it. Bad. Like, I don't think that you could even see any worth in it. It wasn't working. That's what it wouldn't pull up. For some reason, it wouldn't. I think I was probably doing something wrong, but I couldn't get it to pull up.
Yeah.
So if you want to show people maybe what BrickSeek is kind of all about, I know we did show them a little bit about how how to see if Amazon goes out of stock on a product, but I don't think we showed much more than that. I'm
Okay.
sorry. We're gonna have
Yeah.
to cut that part. I was totally thinking of Keepa.
I'm like, where is this motherfucker going? All right. All right.
Show us how
So
BrickSeek works there, Jeff.
put your mic on mute. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And so, when you go to, if you don't know what BrickSeek is, it's some of, there's are certain manufacturers, or excuse me, certain retailers like these four down here, where it's very easy for the consumer to see stock levels. um, not every store are you going to be able to pull up their app or pull up their website and it's going to tell you how many they have and where they have it. BrickSeek basically checks these numbers for you based on whatever product that you're putting in there. Um, so, for instance, if you go to Target here, you can put in, using their DPCI number, which is basically the Target's SKU, or just a standard UPC. Type that UPC in. Let's go with this one. I don't know what this is, and we'll put zip code in, and you can search by distance, price, and quantity. Now, there's two different theories on this. One, if you search by price, it's going to show you whatever the smallest. Of course, I pick a bad one, um, but what it's going to show you whatever the cheapest price out there is. Let me try another UPC here. Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's try this one. Okay, so I probably should have had a UPC ready for this. I'm gonna go into the.
This kind of reminds me of last episode when I did this. Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, let me find a UPC here. I'll go into. All right, I'll go to Brickseek here on my computer. Y'all just bear with me for just a second. All
You
right,
really
so
suck at this.
all right, so I've got a deal here. Now this is a local item, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check Walmart. Okay, so I go to Walmart. Let's say I find this item, and I'm like, man, it's a really great price. I want to see what stores have this and what stores don't. I actually happen to have the SKU for this one, so we're going to put the SKU in, and then over here, I'm going to put my zip code. And first, I'm going to search for distance. So as it searches, it tells you what the MSRP is. MSRP is $261. UPC, SKU, all that good stuff. And you can actually take this link and share it. So it's going to give me the closest Walmarts that are to me. So this one, the first one that's closest, they have 0. The second closest has 3 of them at $50. So, when you talk about this, is not something obviously that you're going to send into Amazon because of this right here, 100 pounds. You're not going to send that in. It's going to cost a fortune. But this is an item that would actually be a pretty good local flip. Buy it for 50 and then put it on Facebook Marketplace for 150, and sell it that way. Now, this particular one doesn't actually have a whole lot in stock, so there's really no sense for me to go in here and be like, okay, well, now I want you to sort by price because I only had 2 Walmarts that were in stock. So it's just going to keep showing these 2. However, I can put in another SKU, and this SKU is for a Lego item. Put the SKU in here. And again, we're going to sort by price. So whenever this decides to work, it's going to show us the cheapest first, not necessarily if it's in stock, but it's the cheapest. So here we go. Here's the cheapest one, 0 in stock. The rest of them run about $72, and you can see why this thing is sold out. So if I change it to just quantity, this is going to show me the stores that have the most quantity in stock. And here we go again. It gives you the price. So this one's 14.9 miles away. It's in stock, and it's $81. Uh, and and so these, you can use these in different ways. The quantity, to me, hot Q4 toys. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to search by quantity, see which ones have, because I don't really care about price. It's going to be full price anyways. They're not going to be on clearance. So sort by quantity. If it is one of these items that are like super, super cheap, or there's a stock or there's an alert on Brickseek of this, whatever price it is, search by price. And then, instead of showing 81 first, it's going to show the 21. And then of course, it's going to be in ascending order all the way up to 81. So it's a really cool tool that you can use. And there's actually a members area. You can sign up to be a premium member. Premium member is $10 a month. Extreme member is $30 a month. Now the difference between the premium and extreme is the extreme you get a local markdown feed, and so they check your local targets. These stores right here, they check these within your, like, I think I want to say it's like 100 miles of your zip code, and gives you like your store specific ones, which is really nice. If you don't mind spending that $29, it actually will give you an email that you can actually search, and that's actually what I'm searching for right now. But it has different price drops for today, popular searches, local price drops, all that good stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. As far as what I use BrickSeek for, it's a great tool.
BrickSeek is really a great tool. I'm not sure. I don't remember who told me about it, but man, it once I figured out, like somebody told me about it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I think it was one of those things I really either wasn't listening or didn't understand the ramifications of what they were showing me. But man, during Q4, BrickSeek is one of the most valuable free tools that you can use besides Keepa. BrickSeek, if you do RA, if you do RA, BrickSeek is really an awesome tool.
Yeah, and it also helps you understand when stores do certain price drops. So it'll tell you, if you're noticing these particular price drops happening on certain days of the week, you can kind of start tailoring your routine to be like, okay, Tuesdays I'm going to Target, or Wednesdays I'm going to Walmart, or just to kind of help make your routine more efficient.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Um, we talked a little bit about Chrome extensions. This one you're almost gonna have to kind of research on your own because there are so many. Uh, you could Google Chrome extensions for Amazon or Chrome extension for Amazon sellers. We'll go over some, in future episodes, but there's so many. I think there's Rev Seller. There's the Keepa. There's
Camel, camel, camel.
Camel. There's like so many that will actually bring up information on your actual Amazon listing pages that you wouldn't otherwise see or know. Some of the extensions uh, bring like all this, consolidate all this information. So instead of having your sales rank at the bottom and your ASIN at the bottom, and the number of sellers at the top right, side, and the lowest price over here and all this stuff, it'll actually bring it all into one box so you can look at it all at one time. Or it'll have, like, if you're searching for a Lego product, and say it's Lego Batman or something, and you type that in Amazon, and then it pulls up all the listings for Lego Batman. Under each listing, some Chrome extensions will actually show you the ASIN, the sales rank, the number of FBA sellers on it, the number of MF sellers on it. It'll show you all that stuff right under it, and you don't even have to go into the actual product page. You know.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And there's one of the neat things about tactical arbitrage, which is a tool that I use um, to find OA items to purchase, is it kind of does the same thing. It gives you they're not extensions to your browser, but it gives you these little icons that you can hover over, and it just consolidates all your information to one screen, and so you're not switching back and forth. And then, because the more you're like switching from screen to screen, the more you're going to overlook something, or the easier you're going to overlook something. And it's already easy to overlook. I mean, I've got a pile of items that I bought that I probably shouldn't have bought, so I got to return those. But it's because you have all these steps that you got to take to verify, okay, is this really going to be profitable? Because we scan the seller app, we see the profit, then we kind of get excited, but then you're like, okay, well, now I got to dig deeper. Just because the seller app says I can make $10 doesn't mean I'm gonna make $10.
I want to go into that on the next episode. I want us to delve into the actual process we use step by step on how to verify that a product is a good buy. Let's do that on the next episode. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, sounds good. Yeah, that's and I think it would be interesting to see how you do it versus how I do it, because I'm sure we do it very similarly, but I'm sure there may be some differences that we can actually help each other out. Some things that were things that we look for, that the other one may not.
Yeah, and that's already happened before. I know a while back, I think I sent you a product, and you were like, oh, that you ought to check the keepa on that one or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that I was like, crap, why haven't I been checking, like, why haven't I been checking that, but there are so many. So I'll just give an example, like an OA list. So you get this list, and it'll have, all these items on it. It'll show you sales rank, show you all this stuff. Well, what it won't show you usually is like keepa. So some of this stuff, there's a process. Like, first, are you restricted for this on Amazon? Two, like, how many sales a month is this product making? Three, does it have are you consistently not competing with Amazon? There's all these different ones, but like you said, we'll go into that on the next episode. But there are so many things to think about with Amazon products that you don't have to think about with things like eBay and Mercari and stuff like that. They're just so it's crazy how different they are, and I don't know if it's the magnitude of Amazon or if it's just.
I think the funny part about it is that you talk about like competing with Amazon, and it's like this is things that you wouldn't find on eBay, and it's interesting that like the company that you use to make money competes against you. You compete with them? That's really interesting. You don't do that with eBay.
Mm-mm.
eBay is just, I want to collect all your fees, but they don't. eBay doesn't sell shit. I mean, they'll sell their supplies or whatever. But Amazon literally on any listing can pop up and be your competitor and put you out of business when it comes to that listing, which we have plenty of experience, and you're gonna have experience too. Amazon will fuck you one way or the other.
They will.
They
They
will.
will. They will. I mean, let's not give people the wrong impression that Amazon is all, roses and fucking butterflies and shit. It can be, but it can also be your worst nightmare.
It can be ruthless.
They, like we said before, don't compete with Amazon unless they consistently go out of stock. Do not compete with the beast because you will not win.
Yeah, and really the only way you can is if you get just a stupid deal, and even if say for instance Amazon selling something for $100, um, and you feel like you can sell it for you want to sell it for 120 to make a certain amount of profit. You send it in, you put it at $120. Amazon pops up at 100. Now, Amazon has tons of wiggle room in there. So if you put it at 100, you're not getting the buy box. You put it at 90, Amazon's going to drop it to 90. You put it at 80, Amazon's probably going to drop it to 80. Like they're going to keep dropping with you to a certain extent. And once you get to that certain point that Amazon stops dropping, like you've lost so much that you had better have gotten that item super cheap.
You
So
better have gotten it for like 90% off.
exactly, because otherwise you're not going to make any money. If you send something in that you're going to plan on making $10 profit and Amazon's on the buy box, forget about it. It's not happening.
Mm-mm.
Because you can guarantee that $10 to $20 is going to be they'll compete with you on it.
Even if they, I firmly believe that they will compete down to the point to where they are losing money on a product just to own the buy box.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but I have gone low enough to where they didn't follow me, just to test to see how far they would go.
That's scary territory.
Yeah, it's the territory of not making any money. But literally, there is a point on certain items. These items that that I guess that use. There is a certain point where they will stop, but that doesn't mean that that's the case on every item. Like, you know,
You know what's weird is that there are some items that Amazon will not even get close to being the lowest price on, and it seems like they're okay with it. I don't know if that's if what they're doing is trying to conserve their stock or what it is. But I have seen listings that Amazon say say Amazon's at 84.99 or something. Well, most of the sellers will be sitting at like 73 something. And Amazon stays there at that price. And you're like, that's weird. Like so
I've seen it a
sometimes it
few
doesn't seem
times.
like there's any rhyme or reason.
It doesn't happen very often, but
No, it
I
doesn't.
have seen that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Uh, I think we've hit most of the points. You got any exciting stories or anything to tell this week? Or
I went on my first RA trip, and we rented a cargo van, and it's like, to me, I don't know about you, but to me that's like a reseller's dream, renting a cargo van and filling it up. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I we had so much fun. Um, and so we rented this cargo van, and it only had like 7,000 miles on it. It's brand new Ford Transit. I'm like, man, this thing's actually pretty nice. I mean, they're loud as hell when they're empty, but I was like, this thing's pretty nice. And so, um, I tell my wife, I said, look up, see how much these things are. I'm thinking like 16,000, 17, 18. It's just a box with an engine. No, they're like 30 grand, 32, $35,000, and it's ridiculous. So if you're thinking about owning a cargo van, you either get something super, super dirt cheap with tons of miles, or you're just gonna have to wait till you hit it big. But no, we had a free night at a casino, and we took it, and we decided we were just gonna go reselling, and so we hit a whole bunch of stores. We got up at 5:30, um, and I think we ended right about 9 p.m. 500 miles later, worth of travel. It was fun. We filled it up though. We met our goal. We filled up the entire back of the cargo van. You saw the video of it.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff in there.
yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. We're definitely gonna do that next. I think next time we're gonna probably head the other direction. We were going east this time. Probably go west or north, and just go to different cities. It's a lot of fun. My daughter was at grandma's house, and so we just took off and
So was
drove.
it more fun that you didn't have a child to look after and keep alive, or was it more fun that you were out there on the road, just doing your thing, doing whatever you wanted?
It was more of like, Avery is getting easier and easier because she's getting smarter and smarter, and she can actually start helping with things, and so she's a little over 2 now. So she's getting easier, right? So the whole, like, keeping her alive, at this point she will keep herself alive. Like, she knows how to get food and all this other stuff. So we're past the whole, keeping the child alive part. Um, but I think really the fun part was just like, it was like, I don't know, it's almost like adrenaline. It was like, we gotta go, go, go. Like, we gotta hit this, we gotta be here by this amount of time. And then it was, you know, our casino, we live like 2.5 hours from it, but we were also gonna travel an hour past it. So, we're like, okay, well, we're gonna drive an hour past the casino to go to this one city, and it's like, well, then I have to account for the hour back. I have to account for all the time that we're gonna spend in the city, and it's just like, there's to me there was like an excitement and kind of like a little bit of adrenaline, as maybe as dumb as that sounds, but to get through these stores in time and get as much money as possible and get back, you know, on time. So I don't know, and it could be me. I hate, like, I hate waste time wasting, and so,
You don't
like,
say. You haven't mentioned that on any of the podcasts.
I hate it, and so, like, any type of wasted time, whether it be taking the wrong directions, going to a store that doesn't have anything, it's just like, man, and you're gonna hit that. But um, it was fun. It was fun. We're gonna do it again. We'll probably do that once a month, I think, because it was just too much fun. It was our first time, and I think we're definitely gonna do that again.
Yeah, it is fun. We've done it a couple times now, and it hasn't lost its appeal to me yet. Like you said, there is something about filling up a van that just makes you feel kind of like you accomplished something. You know, uh, I it's fun. I can't argue with that.
Then it makes you nervous when you got to park it in a parking garage full of thousands of dollars worth of product.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you said something to me about going to park somewhere or something. I was like, "Get you a tarp." You're like,
Which we
"Oh,
did.
okay,
Which we
yeah."
did. We got a tarp and we parked in a parking garage and we made sure to park right underneath the camera. So there's big cameras in the corner. We parked just right underneath it, you know.
Like
Um,
that would actually do anything if somebody broke into it.
no, but I mean, if they're looking for a target, they may not want. I mean,
That's true.
literally, that camera would have been like 6 feet from their face. Garage Garages do not have tall ceilings, so that
Yeah.
camera like literally was right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised you. Oh, that wasn't a tall roof fan, right?
No, no, it wasn't.
Which was something
Still,
you also liked.
oh yeah, yeah. If you're gonna get one and you're gonna fill it up, get one that's got a tall roof. Because I about killed my back, like bent over in that thing. Not only unloading it, but reorganizing it inside the van. Your first couple trips, that shit's going everywhere. You take a turn, it's just flying everywhere. So you stop. You got to reorganize it, get it, more compact. And next time we're gonna get some of those bungee cords and some bungee nets to kind of keep things from going all over the place. But
Yeah.
I'd have to get a stand up one because yeah, it was not good on my back.
Yeah, I've actually been looking at. I would love, I think it's Ram ProMaster is really the one I'd like, but any of those vans, like you said, they're just so expensive. You're looking at minimum on a used one like 17,000, and that's a good price. For one that's just a few years old and maybe under 50,000 miles. But I've recently been looking at like the Chevy Express and the Ford Econoline and stuff like that. Just some uh, what would you call those types of vans? The creeper vans, I guess. It would be
Yeah,
a
the
more of a
ones that
politically correct
yeah, the
name.
ones that like you put like clowns on the outside of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that you just do. Yeah, so we've been looking at those a little bit, and they're much more affordable than you know $15,000 to $20,000 or $30,000. Some of those vans get up to like I saw one that was $80,000.
Are
It
you
was
talking about the little executive ones?
yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Mercedes. Yeah, yeah, I think it was a high roof and it had some captain's chairs and stuff in it. Obviously, which you wouldn't, that wouldn't suit us. But $80,000, man. God.
it's crazy. And I want to screen share something real quick. You talk about the Ram ProMaster. As I'm looking at it, it actually looks pretty good. So just real quick, I mean, you look at all the room. Like these are obviously electrical workers, construction workers, but you think about it. These are obviously at some aftermarket shells, but that's the kind of stuff would be awesome, on the road. I love how these chairs, swivel. I'm sure that's a pretty cool option. But you can see right here, you got tons of space,
Yeah.
and this looks like, I mean, this kind of looks like one of those stand up ones, but yeah, these are really cool bands. I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, that's what we rented the first time. What was that? Yeah, they're nice. They really are nice. If you've got the money for it, but we're kind of weighing: do we get a van, a storage space, or warehouse space? It all kind of comes. It's weird how this business, it's all a journey and it's all everything is a stepping stone to the next, to the next, to the next, step. It's crazy because you first start out by finding a hot product, and then you're psyched. You're in a store, you're scanning everything with your phone, Next thing you know, you're getting replenishable items, and you're selling stuff and you're selling consistently, and you starting to get your numbers up. Well, then you realize, oh man, I'm making some money, but I live in a warehouse. You look around and there's product everywhere, and that can only go for so long. So then you got to figure out, well, next I need to figure out how I can allocate funds for a warehouse or a storage unit. How I can allocate funds for you know uh, things like a van or a truck or trailers and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy the different, I don't even know what you'd call it, life cycles, or just the different
It's
different
steps.
yeah.
It's literally a staircase, and you're literally taking the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step, and I always keep a phone of like one of the very first pictures I took of my office when I first started, and you think of, you're like, holy mother, like like it was nothing. It was a stupid little fold out table and a computer, and I had my printer laying on the ground, and I had bed sheets for my backdrop, and it's like, okay, I took the next step. I got a nice lighting kit. Took the next step, got a better computer setup, desk, and you get these equipment, and like we just bought a dolly, one of the dollies that I think it was from Harbor Freight, that ones that kind of fold out and they kind of make a cart. Um, we just bought one of those, and so now we're gonna go look at storage units tomorrow. So it's like, you talk about those steps, and it's just another step, and then one day down the line, that cargo van's gonna be a step, and that warehouse is gonna be a step, and it's just some steps are bigger than others, and you may have to take a bunch of little tiny steps to get to that big step, but you know it's really hard to fall down the steps, because you've already gained all the knowledge. I think the big thing that would cause someone to kind of fall back would be financially, or personal issues. Financially, obviously, that you could handcuff yourself and you'd be stuck on a step, right? And you wouldn't be able to go to that next step. Um, I kind of think of it as a staircase,
I think
to
if you, kind of to your point, if you get on that step, or you jump to the next step too quickly, and you don't have a good footing on that step, if you can fall backwards. Say you didn't have the sales to support a warehouse, or you didn't have the sales to support a cargo van or whatever, and you went out and you bought you a $30,000 cargo van because, hey, it's a cool toy. Who doesn't want new cool toys, But you don't have the sales to support it, man. You're going to be teetering. You may fall back, and then you may fall back several steps, So that's a good point. That, man, and let's not sugarcoat this either. Each step is not easy. It's still one of those things that, you're making a leap to the next step. You're not just, gingerly, walking up the steps. You're actually having to jump to each step. Uh, I mean, it's the name of the game, being an
yeah,
entrepreneur.
it's fun and crazy all at the same time.
It is fun. It's exciting. Like you said, that adrenaline rush. You get that a lot, especially in this growing process. Every time that something happens, it's gonna sound stupid, but when I got my tape machine, I was like, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. When I got, I don't know, when I got a new computer, I was like, man, this is awesome.
Hmm.
Got a new printer. This is awesome.
Business
Just,
is paying for it. And
what's that?
I said the business is paying for it.
Yeah, yeah. It actually is physical representation of the success. You know, it just kind of, it goes to show that, hey, you can do this. Like, sometimes it's weird. You kind of have to step back, and you have, like you said, that picture of your office from when you first started. I'm sure you keep that around because it's a gauge of how far you've come, right?
Yeah, I look at it probably once a week just to kind of laugh at it. But
Yeah. And if we don't step back every once in a while and look at how far we've come, we can discount ourselves and we can kind of get down on ourselves. And like you said in one of the previous episodes, that day in the life of an entrepreneur, oh crap, everything's crashing down around me. Every once in a while, you got to give yourself credit for how far you've come. And I mean, looking around, like I started in this room literally on a chest of drawers.
mm-hmm.
Is that how you? Yeah, chest of drawers with sitting on an exercise ball, using a laptop on top of the chest of drawers.
I
That's it.
remember that. I
That's how I
remember that.
started this business. You know, buddy of mine, the mentor to me in this business, he gave me a printer. Said, here. I'm like, no, man, come on. And he's like, no, take it. I don't need it. Take it. I'm like, okay. Had that. It just kept building. I'd buy a barcode scanner, and then I'd, buy this and that and this and that. It just, every little thing made it easier for me to keep going in this business. So just focus on the things that are going to make your life easier, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, and going into Q4, this is the time you make your dreams come true when it comes to money. Um, this is where you can kind of make or break everything.
Yeah, it's really hard to break anything in Q4, uh, but it's not hard to make yourself. I mean, Q4, we talk about it like it's some mythical creature, which in all reality, compared to the other 3 quarters, it is a mythical creature. Yep. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at I was looking at the consumer spending forecast. Um, so the economy is doing well at the current time, and this is September 2018. So who knows what's going on after this? But you think consumer confidence is increasing. Retail sales are increasing. Online retail, obviously. So this one, as opposed to some other years, like this one's going to be even bigger. Like there's going to be more. The unemployment rate's really low, and so people are going to have some discretionary income that they can spend this year. And so I mean, I really expect it to be a really really good Q4.
Yeah, I'm already starting to see some pretty consistent sales, and like you said, we're in September. We're middle of September right now, and I mean things haven't really started even getting going yet.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean everything looks good. Bank lending rates are up. Um, Gasoline prices, eh, you know,
About on average, they're less than they're not as high as they have been in some previous years,
yeah,
2 or 3 years
absolutely.
ago. Oof.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about, and I forgot about it. Well, I've got two things. eBay supplies. Really, the only thing that differs from eBay supplies, you're not going to need a barcode scanner. You can use one, like say you want a USB one or a Bluetooth one to go to your computer to be able to kind of create listings a little bit easier. Yeah, but uh, aside from all the Amazon uh, supplies that you need, eBay, the really only thing that differs is your photo taking supplies, which you can supplement with 2 pieces or 1 piece of white poster board and some shop lights. Literally,
Yeah,
get you some lamps. I posted on one of my Instagram posts a while back my first ever, and I'll have to post it again just by itself so you get to actually see how crappy my setup was. Like you said, I had the back of a curtain that was white, and I had it sitting on the ground, just over in the corner, with a lamp with a fluorescent light bulb in it, and I would literally hold the lamp up and hold my phone up to take a picture. Like and it wasn't easy. Like I had to position the light just right. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So you don't need a big expensive setup. Now we've got some box lights. I may or may not have those in my link tree, but the box lights are amazing. Pass up the umbrella lights. Do not buy the umbrella lights. They're crappy. Don't buy them. The box lights I have are the same brand. I believe Limo Studio, whatever, however you say it, Limo. Um, the the box lights, they're way brighter than the
Yeah,
umbrellas.
yeah, and get the ones I use are 700 watt. So try to get, the wattage is pretty important. So try to look for that 700 watt figure when you're shopping for them. I mean, the bulbs that come in the ones that I got, I don't know which ones you got, but yeah, they're huge, right?
They're
So
probably almost a foot long.
yeah,
The
yeah,
bulb. It looks like a funhouse version of a fluorescent light bulb.
yeah, it's comical for sure.
The first time I opened that box and saw that bulb, I was like, I started laughing because it's like, this is really
Yeah,
like this doesn't even look safe. I don't know if it is, but uh, the last thing I really want to talk about is how you present yourself as a professional in communications. Now, when I am applying for vendors and I'm talking to customers and I'm just having any type of communication, even sometimes with Amazon themselves, I represent my business as a we. So we appreciate your business. We have been doing this much in sales, whatever. Whether you're a one person or not, if you say we, it sounds better. I'm not sure if everybody agrees with me. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I think it just sounds better and more professional and sounds like you have sometimes. I mean, sometimes you got to fake it until you make it. I mean, really, is at the end of the day.
yep, no, I agree 100%. Absolutely. I mean, it just shows that you belong to an organization as opposed to you're just some guy, that's trying to make some, you know, sell online because it's going to get increasingly rare that companies are going to be allowing folks to sell their stuff on Amazon, buying from distributors, just because that's kind of where things are going. But yeah, for sure. And you also have to be, and it's you got to. I don't want to say you don't have to lie to people, right? But you got to be careful on what you tell them. When you're opening up accounts, because sometimes that will disqualify you. Depending on, what the guidelines are for accepting you as a buyer. You can disqualify yourself depending on what your, how you sell it. So generally, what I'll do is I'll say, hey, you need to let me know what I can do with this product and what I can't do with this product, because you just don't want you don't want to get these emails on Amazon saying, hey,
What do you
this is
mean
our,
by that? Can you explain what you mean by when you tell them, can you tell me what I can do with this product? What does that mean?
like where I can sell it. What am I, what is the manufacturer? Do I have to apply for approval? Like I have one account to where, um, it's restricted from e-commerce, e-commerce sales. And so I emailed my rep and I said, hey, I noticed I can't buy this item. And he's like, well, this company doesn't want you to put it on Amazon. I said, well, okay, well, what about eBay? Can I sell on eBay? He's like, yeah, he's like, they don't have any restrictions written about eBay, but they just don't want it on Amazon. So he's like, if you want, I can ask them if we can get you unlocked to buy this product. And I said, yeah, go for it. And so sure enough, they said, yep, as long as you don't sell it on Amazon, you can sell it on eBay, no problem. So, you know, if you read it, if you're blocked on whatever portal you use to buy your products, and it says restricted to e-commerce sales, you got to figure out what type of e-commerce sales. Is it all e-commerce, or is it certain e-commerce? Do they not want it on eBay? Do they not want it on Jet or Walmart? You know, you just gotta you just gotta work with them, and build great relationships with your reps. Your reps are gonna be they're the ones that get you good prices.
Yeah, and I would recommend being honest with your reps. Most of the time, your rep is going to be your advocate in this business. Their end goal is to sell product, as much product as they can, and also be a intermediary for you and the manufacturer. So if you tell, like, I've been telling vendors, I just talked to one yesterday, I think it was, and before we got too far into the conversation, I even told her, I said, before we get too far into this, I said, I sell on Amazon. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, that's okay. Some of our vendors don't allow it, but a lot of them do. So yeah, that's fine. I said, okay. I said, just don't try to be too sneaky, when it comes to your rep, because that person is actually on your side most of the time. And, they can get you out of trouble sometimes if you get in trouble, but their main goal is to sell product. So if you're moving product, they're going to be on your side. But I would say be upfront with the reps, at least, most of the time. And if somebody doesn't want their product being sold on Amazon, you probably don't want those problems. You're going to get infringement claims. You're going to get trademark claims. And eventually Amazon's going to shut you down.
Yeah, and aside from talking about where you can sell it, if you order product and you don't talk to your rep before you order it, you're making a mistake. Like, I never have gone to the website, click, add to cart, buy. Never done that. My reps have placed 100% of my orders, because all I do is I say, hey, so and so, here's the SKUs I want. What's the best price you can give me on every single one of these SKUs? They come back with an email. I say, okay, I want this, and they place the order for you. But one
That's
of
a
the
good
things
point.
I got one.
This is wholesale, right?
Yeah, this is wholesale. I placed I had an order. I got an order together, and I said, hey, and I mean, I literally I could have just added it to the cart and hit whatever. Um, and I said, hey, I noticed none of these are on sale for this month. They're not on promotion. And I said, what's the best price? She's like, well, with it not being on sale, the best I can do is 10% across the board. I mean, 10% is 10%, and all that took was like a 2-second email, just asking what I could get. And they have allowances on every single manufacturer. They have an allowance of what they can do, what the manufacturer allows them to discount. And then if you need more, they can go to the manufacturer and say, hey, what am I allowed to do with this person? Can we work with them? And they can even cut into their own commissions to make a sale. Like, if I don't know what their commissions structure is, but they can say, okay, well, listen, I'll sacrifice 5%, just to give you a little bit extra to buy your product. So
Yeah.
don't, like I said, if you're ordering through a web portal for wholesale,
Stop.
you're losing money.
And that's funny you say that, because that's all I've ever done was order it straight through a web portal. I swear. That's all I've ever done. I would just go on and everything you were saying, that just click, add to cart in. That's what I would do. That's a good point. I haven't done any wholesale in quite a while. What you'll find with wholesale is not easy. It's not easy. You think there's competition on RA stuff? There's real competition when it comes to wholesale, because most of these people aren't playing. Most of these people, are probably buying it by the pallet, and you're coming in and you want 50 units. 50 units ain't shit to most of these people, and with the greater volume comes volume discounts. So they're getting it cheaper than you, so they can go lower on their price and still make the same margin you're making,
Yeah, Yeah, and wholesale is not a good place to start unless you have capital.
It's not a good place to start, period, I don't think, even if you have the capital, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who would start in wholesale, they have a background in it. It's not something you can just, just off the streets, just, okay, I'm just going to do wholesale first. It's always RA, just to kind of get your feet wet, and then you can go from there. But there's some, I mean, you can make millions. You can make millions if you've got millions to spend.
Yeah. That's the name of this game is money. If you've got money, you can make money.
Yep.
If not, you better start climbing those steps, buddy. Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up for this episode. We've been talking for an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, it's not bad. So I would say that if you like our content, if you like what we have to say, if you like my face, obviously you don't like Jeff's face because, I mean, look at him.
Crickets. That's because nobody agrees with you.
Well, that's because we're talking to nobody. So if you like our content, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, share, tell everybody about us. If we provided you some type of value, please let us know. Send us DMs. Send us, I don't think we have an email listed yet. You can contact me or Jeff at roadtoresale@yahoo.com. If you send it to if you send it to me, I'll get it along to Jeff. Or you can DM me at Road to Resale Instagram. Yeah, that's real funny, Jeff.
So yeah, sounds good.
Like,
Follow
comment,
over.
subscribe, follow.
Oh, and hit the little bell for notifications.
Hit that like button.
Yeah,
Swipe up, motherfucker.
Swipe up. Swipe up. Swipe up. I don't know.
That's gonna be the intro to this video. I've been waiting on that. Thank you.
Everybody, have a nice night.
All right. Talk to you later, man. See you next time.